Okpa joins me now from Dallas, Texas. Good to have you join us, Mr. Okpa. As you know, it's the final day of the Republican National Convention, and I know that you're a Republican yourself, a staunch supporter of Donald Trump. What's your reaction to the convention so far, the way Donald Trump has carried on following Saturday's attempted assassination?
Well, thank you for having me. And then, for disclosure, I'm a Republican, but I always try to be objective, in circumstances, to, put forth my own opinion as to what is going on. It was shocking, Saturday when that news, or incident happened, and everyone was like, "Oh my God." They've tried to take him out, in a judicial way by all these cases filed against him. Now there was a physical attempt. And that shocked America because, this is not the country we all are looking for. This is not the country we all want. Political disagreement should not lead to physical attack where you are killing, a candidate or wanting to eliminate them, So, but he survived it, whether that was by design or default. The fact is he was standing and he showed bravery. He raised his fist, when he would have, crawled under and let the Secret Service jump all over him. He raised his hand, and that's the mark of somebody who believes in what he wants to do to serve this country. Trump didn't have to do this. He was a businessman, and he had all the luxury and the comfort anybody can imagine.
J.D. Vance, Mr. Okpa, if I may come in, J.D. Vance, his running mate, mentioned, that while accepting his nomination in the course of the convention. What's your take about J.D. Vance's emergence as his running mate? He's a former critic of the former president.
Well, you can criticize somebody who you still run with. I mean, in fact, to be critical is good as opposed to criticizing. We will have to make a distinction between those two words. In America, we're critical of our politicians, because we want to push them or we want to challenge what they are thinking. And that does not rock the basis of a relationship or the basis of value. So yeah, JD, a young man, he's 39 years old, he's half the age of Trump. So we're hoping that he will be the sort of energy that would give the president more boost as he, makes his second missionary journey to the White House. And if Trump makes it in November, he's not going to be a lame duck president. He was going to be one who took a break and came back, and then he just want to do what he thinks he would have done in the first term. So it's not like a second term. It's more like a second term with the vigor of a first-time president.
All right, let's talk about the pressure now. There's growing pressure for President Joe Biden to actually step down. And as a matter of fact, his campaign is now on hold as a result of COVID infection. What's your take about that? Is Kamala Harris able to step in?
Well, I mean, if you do it by the proper way, if the president steps down, now there are two things you have to think about. Is he stepping down as president, or is he stepping down as candidate for president? If he steps down as candidate for president, he will still finish his term. But, then whomever, if it's Kamala Harris, then she steps in the role, then his war chest, that is money he raised, automatically has to go to the next person, which will be whomever that is. If it's Kamala will not inherit that campaign fund in order to do it. But if he doesn't want to do it, which he has the right to, because there's a whole lot of process, he has to automatically allow his delegates. He will tell his delegates to now vote for Kamala, assuming the Democratic, leader caucus, the people who run this thing decide Kamala is. But you have to also be very suspicious of Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi's cousin is the Governor Newsom from California. So she may be there plotting to see her own person, join in. But, if that happens, what the Democrats are facing now is a house divided. Because by now they were covering up for Joe Biden, thinking he's all vibrant, thinking he's all mentally stable. But we all saw it. And the media has been trying to make us unsee what we saw. And Americans are saying, we don't want a president. I mean, you could be physically unable, but we also don't want you to be mentally unsuitable.
Mr. Okwa, when you say the media is trying to make you unsee what you've already seen, how is the media, an accomplice in all of that? What is happening is what you're seeing. Yes, the president, of course, he's been in the face of people all along, and now he has, come out to announce his COVID diagnosis. So, how is the media?
The media is a supporter of the Democratic Party. There's no denying it. But what I'm saying,
that's a huge allegation, because the media is known to be unbiased, is known to be balanced, fair, and accurate. I mean, so when you talk about the media being a supporter of a particular candidate, there are several media outlets, and they might just have the allegiance to different candidates. You talk about Fox, for instance. Would you say Fox is a supporter of the Democratic Party?
No. Every media that is unbiased is objective media. But we have seen it when you look at the major houses, which is CNN, ABC, NBC, MSNBC. I mean, you see all those stuff. I mean, so if we have 10 and 8 are, what does that tell anybody? My point about the media trying to make us, unsee what we saw is because before this time we could see Biden was stumbling. He couldn't walk straight. If you tell him to go 100 yards without somebody, holding him or reminding him, sir, don't go this way, you will see that he doesn't, something is going on with him. It's not the age. My mother-in-law is 86 years old, and she is as straight, she's as strong.
But individuals differ, and I understand Joe Biden says, Mr. Okwa, Joe Biden says he feels good, and his White House press secretary says he'll be isolating at his home in Delaware, from where he'll be carrying out all of his duties fully.
No, look, they can say anything, but I'm just saying we saw it. The debate was a very classic example of Joe Biden struggling. And then you don't have to be a doctor. Anytime somebody's talking to you, look at their facial expression and then look at their body language. The man froze as many times, sometimes in the middle of a sentence, he doesn't even know what it is he's saying. That doesn't need any medical professional to tell you. But again, he has to tell you that. He has to say, I'm feeling good. But in the eyes of us Americans watching our president, we are embarrassed by what we have seen. We have been embarrassed for the past 3 and something years, but now it's very evident. Now it's in your face, and that is why the Democrats are scrambling. That's why they are disappointed, because they were masking this stuff, and now Joe Biden has unmasked himself, and that is what is shocking them.
Then Global Affairs Analyst Edike Okwa, thank you so much for talking to us on World Now.
Thank you for having me.